Scrap yards are busy places. Materials move in and out from all directions, entering the yard as scrap and leaving the yard as raw materials that feed the world's demand for new steel and copper and rubber and paper. With so much going on, it's no surprise that workers' safety is the #1 concern of management. A single moment of inattention or a single shortcut in safety precautions can have disastrous consequences. Where possible, we use shredders and balers and shears to reduce scrap to manageable size. But in some cases, that's simply not possible. Sometimes, the only option is the cutting torch. Working safely means paying attention to the details of what you do. Even in a dirty business, it's important to wear clean work clothes every day. This is particularly true with burners. Even though your work uniform is made of flame-retardant fabric, the last thing you need when you're working with sparks is dirty, oil-soaked clothes. Some protective equipment is common to every worker in a scrapyard, no matter what job they perform. In this yard, everybody wears a good pair of steel-toed work boots. Burners, though, need the extra protection of metatarsal guards to give their instep the same level of protection that they give to their toes. And only a fool works around metal and heavy equipment without a hard hat and safety glasses. Workplace safety is a frame of mind. It's an attitude of professionalism that infects every decision you make during the day. Torch cutting can be a particularly dangerous job at a scrapyard, if only because it seems so simple. Think about it. You're working with propane or acetylene, two of nature's most flammable gases, and with oxygen, which by itself doesn't burn but makes everything it touches, even dirt, extremely flammable. As if that weren't enough, the gases are compressed. If one of those valves broke off, the bottle would take off like a rocket out of control. Then there's the simple fact that you spend your day working in a shower of sparks. Leather chaps and a good pair of work gloves are essential to keep you from getting burned. And of course, you should only wear uniforms fabricated from flame-retardant materials. This includes jackets, headwear, and other protective clothing worn in the wintertime. Before you attach the regulator assembly, you need to make sure that the valve outlets are clear of dust and dirt. Note that different gases use different regulators. Be sure to familiarize yourself with your own company's equipment. Now, stand to one side and open and close each cylinder a quarter of a turn to blow away any grit. Connect the oxygen regulator to the cylinder. It has a right-hand thread. Use a wrench, but don't over-tighten it and never lubricate the threads. Petroleum products, such as oil or grease, become explosive when they mix with oxygen. Verify that the regulator is closed, and then open the oxygen cylinder valve slowly. And listen and watch for leakage. If the seal is good, then open the cylinder all the way. Now it's time to connect the oxygen hose, which is usually green in color. Use a wrench as before, but don't over-tighten. Now connect the fuel gas hose. It is usually red in color and has a left-hand thread, just the opposite of the oxygen cylinder. Remember that there are all kinds of different respirators for all kinds of needs. Talk to your supervisor or your safety supplier if you have any questions. The concerns over lead exposure don't end with respiratory protection. Lead fumes are actually tiny particles that get on your clothes or on your skin or your hair. Good hygiene practices are essential to keep your hands from contaminating food, or even worse, to keep from bringing lead home to your family on contaminated clothes. So, familiarize yourself with your company's lead exposure policies and follow any additional precautions they recommend. Lead's not the only poison you deal with either. You'll need to take the same precautions when you cut any number of other metals. When in doubt, consult the Material Safety Data Sheet, the MSDS, that your supervisor has on file in the office. When you've finished torching, secure your equipment. Close the valves and put the caps back on the cylinders. Remove the hoses, the regulators, and the torch. Store them so they won't get damaged. As a final step before calling it a day, check to make sure that there are no live sparks or smoldering fires. Let's review all the points we've just discussed. Proper equipment is the key. Always wear your hard hat, safety glasses, and work boots with metatarsal guards. In addition, when you're burning, make sure you're wearing burner's gloves and chaps and tinted goggles, colored to the shade appropriate to the material you're cutting, and a face shield. Wear clean work clothes, free of dirt, free of grease or oil, or anything else that will make the fabric easier to burn. Keep those cylinders secure. Pure oxygen is dangerous. Never, ever use grease, oil, or any other lubricant on a valve fitting. The result could be disastrous. Green hose is for oxygen. The red or black hose is for the fuel gas. It's okay to use a wrench when you make a connection, but don't over-tighten the fitting. Open the valve slowly, always listening, watching for leaks. Adjust the fuel gas regulator. If you're using acetylene, always keep the acetylene pressure to 15 pounds or less. Open and close the oxygen and fuel gas valves to clean out dirt or other contaminants. About 1/8 of a turn should do it. Never use matches or a cigarette lighter to ignite the torch. Use a spark lighter. Once in a while, a torch may backfire. You shut off the valves and then open them up and try lighting again. If you hear a squeal after the backfire, it can mean that the flame is burning back up the hose to the cylinder. Treat this as an emergency. Quickly shut everything down and seek assistance from the maintenance department. Be aware of your surroundings and people in the area. Never work where sparks or falling objects can hurt someone. Anticipate where your scrap is going to fall and stay out of the way. Lead paint and many varieties of metal are toxic, and it's up to you to protect yourself. Use a respirator when necessary and keep it in good working order. Don't take a food break without first washing your hands. And be careful not to bring the hazards of your work home to your family. Safety on the job really is about the details, the thousands of decisions we make every day when we're tempted by shortcuts. When you think about it though, workplace safety really isn't about the workplace at all. What safety really is about is home and family, about making sure that you're around for all the wonders life offers when work is the farthest thing from your mind.